Reporting live from Irish Club Fight Plus News, I'm John Ava. It has been 54 days since Nolan Wells first went missing and 52 days since his body would be discovered on Horn Island in Mississippi, the same place he was last seen partying with friends. A part of the conversation around the case has been many shouting that a major cover-up is taking place in regards to an investigation of Wells' death. Concerns in regards to the lack of action taken on clear offenses like underage drinking has been some of the reason why many online users fail to be at ease. As of this report, the only arrest made connected to the story has been 3 minorities that would make threats to several individuals connected to the case. No arrest has been made in direct connection to Wells' mysterious passing. Now last night, local Jackson, Mississippi outlet WAPT 16 would share a moment with Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch to get her response on the case and the possibility of a cover-up by local officials. For those who don't know, in some circumstances, a state attorney general can take over a case for a number of reasons, like authority involved in the case deciding to step aside. It is Fitch's new response which has now drawn in its own criticism in the comments of the outlet's social pages, and would not omit any concerns for how the case has been handled.
As it relates to the Nolan Wells investigation, we're nearly 2 months into the investigation. We still don't have a resolution. This case is still garnering widespread national attention. And we know you made some remarks recently about concerns about people making threats against law enforcement. What do you think needs to happen? Does there need to be some resolution at some point soon to this investigation so that you can allay the fears of people who have questions about a cover-up or authorities on the Gulf Coast not coming clean and letting the public know the truth about what happened, whatever that is?
It's always horrific and sad when we lose any of our individuals here in Mississippi. And yes, absolutely, we'll be protective if people are being threatened or any harm that might be coming their way. That's certainly what the role is, to protect them as well. But, you know, that's an active investigation, and I know they're going through the normal course that they always do with the DA's office and the investigation there. Should
your office take a role in that, given that this is such a high-profile case?
Well, we always adhere to our locals first, and so certainly they're doing their job. They're going through the process, and when the time comes, I guess we will all find out the information.
Now, for those who have their concerns around the case, Fitch's response is disappointing, as it doesn't appear that she is looking into challenging any of the current investigation. In the comment section of WAPT, several users will call out her response. One will go on to say, "We shouldn't be shocked that she gave no real answer. They all work together." While another would write, "It's what she's not saying." And lastly, another user will go on to say, "It tells you they're sweeping it under the carpet, as they always do in these cases. Nothing's been done to show neither the public nor Nolan Wells' parents. It's the coldness and cookie-cutter response that gets me." Now, to that person's point, there does appear to be a textbook response to cases like Wells that alarms many online. A lack of challenging their own system despite how things appear. Like the death of 21-year-old Tamia Taylor in 2023, who boarded a riverboat on the Mississippi River with co-workers. And like Wells, her friends would return and she would not. Her cell phone would also be discovered without her. Now, 2 weeks later, her body would finally be found on another part of the river. Now, what was alarming for those following that particular case, the authorities over it would also announce that they did not suspect any foul play was involved and would label her cause of death as a drowning, which would bother her family members who clearly felt there was more to the case.
And I hope the guilty party as well, tell the truth about the situation.
Her mother would go on to speak out following the finding of her body and any narrative that suggested she committed suicide.
Somebody saw something. She loved life too much, no matter how difficult it may have been or what challenges she may have had.
Now, her mother would interestingly suspect that it was a fellow black person connected to the death of her daughter, unlike the racial component within the Nolan Wells case.
The only thing they told me was she went upstairs on the 2nd floor to use the bathroom. She put her phone down on the table. We picked her phone up. We went and waited by the door for her to come out, and then we left. Why would you leave? That makes no sense.
Cell phone footage from the night of her disappearance would show that the boat was largely enjoyed by a large group of black attendees. Her friends would go on to deny any wrongdoing. Now, Taylor's death would continue on as an open investigation, which for some is another textbook play we are seeing in the death of Nolan Wells as a way to stall and let things die down. Now, it is the lack of speculation by local authorities involved in these cases and deciding just to repeat policy when it's very clear that other things like foul play can be involved is what bothers many the most. To only provide the same talking points as others appears for some to be more strategic than genuine. So how can citizens put their trust in systems that will protect itself before protecting them? Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Now that we've heard from the Attorney General, does it increase your speculation, or do you have faith that Wells' death is being properly handled as we continue to not know his cause of death and any results from his state autopsy? Reporting live from Ibis Club for I+ News, I'm John Abba.